Hello everyone, welcome to Chess Master Strategy. Following our last Queen's Gambit session, today's game demonstrates how powerful the white can be when accurately utilized Queen's Gambit decline opening strategy. This game played in 1977 between the world champion Grandmaster Tigran Petrosian and the Russian Grandmaster Viktor Korchnoi. Viktor Korchnoi was a world chess champion contender who was one of the fiercest competitors in chess history. During his prime years, he was known as Viktor the Terrible. In this game, Tigran Petrosian played as white and Viktor Korchnoi played as black. Let's jump into the game right away. d4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, c4. Indian game transformed to Queen's Gambit decline. d5, knight c3, c5, cd, knight d5, e4, knight c3, bc, cd, cd, check, bishop d2, exchange, castle, bishop c4, knight c6, castle, b6 is played on 12th move. We call that formal name Queen's Gambit decline, Semi-Tarrasch, mainline, exchange, variation. Now, Tigran Petrosian's next move on the 13th move, rook fe1, bishop b7, and rook d1. You can see he beautifully placed his two rooks on correct spots, d1 and e1 square, targeting the d file and the e file. In the next move for the black knight play, he can either place his knight on e7 or more aggressively on a5. I can tell you in the actual game, knight e7 is played. And in the next our Queen's Gambit opening strategy video, Mikko Tell played as a black. He placed his knight to a5, which kick this bishop away from the c4 to d3 squares. I suddenly remember there's a one game played in 1971 between Tigran Petrosian and Bob Fischer. Bob Fischer played as black. In that game, that was also a Queen's Gambit opening game, and Bob Fischer played as a knight a5 as well. And after that move, Fischer is on the right track towards winning. In the actual game, knight e7, d5, ed. Now, I want to ask you one question. So what are you going to do if we play as white? That's correct. ED is played. Okay, in actual game, ED is played. And what about if I use a bishop to take that one? Let's try the variation. Knight take that one, pawn take that one back. No issue, but you probably notice white doesn't have a light square bishop, but black does. And also remember the next move is on black side. I have two offenders. I have two defenders. You have two offenders for the pawn, and next move is on black side, so he can simply move the rook to here. You of course can do the passive defense, which will be kicked off by the pawn. You can move the rook here, but more aggressively you can do the counter attack, threatening the checkmate. You can see after several moves, so remember here, rook cannot move along for in this file, otherwise you're going to lose the pawn. So you can move to here and here only. And you can see after several moves, both sides actually equalized. And the best move is ED. Knight gets to f5. Black's plan is to move his knight to block this square for the pawn advance, and also potentially targeting this one, and very likely to targeting this one. Very sophisticated plan. Next, white also has a similar plan, targeting this square, potentially threat this one, and also this one. What about if we move the king or queen to here? So knight can get to here, bishop has to retreat, otherwise you stay away from the knight and it's not in the way on the rook's files. Queen can get to here if you want to do the trade-off. The pawn structure is damaged for the black side, but you can see other several moves. White doesn't have too much advantage. Okay, without queen, it is very likely to end up as a draw in this situation. Knight gets to d6 and knight gets to c6. And what are you going to do if you are on the black side? In the actual game, let's see. Bishop take that one, trade off, and now actually this is beneficial for the white side because this pawn, I will tell you, will be a huge monster for the black side. Lots of pressure on the 6th rank. And what about if we do this variation? Knight take that one, we can follow the if we use a knight to take that one, and we can follow the original path we just discussed. Rook has to defend this square, otherwise knight will stay here to support the pawn advance. Rook can get to here, knight c4, pawn still can get advance, kick that one off. Now, white is in pawn majority, better off position for the white side. And even we try to use this rook to kick the knight off, rook can still station here. Knight has to get here, and the rook can get to here. So this pawn actually free for the white to take because this pawn it can't do the defend for the black side. All right. So both variation actually also beneficial for the black side. When I prepared this video, I found one possible best move, which is queen gets to here. Bishop can retreat, rook gets to here, exchange, and queen gets to here, and now knight gets to here, queen gets to here, and queen b4 check. If you want to offer the exchange, I can retreat that one, queen gets to here. So you can see knight, black knight, actually in very good spot, defending this square firmly and prevent the pawn from advancing. Not too bad for the black side. Let's get back to the original game. Now the next move, knight takes the bishop c4, queen beautifully placed on f4. Very good discovered attack. Rook is on queen, queen is on knight. Queen is also supporting this square for the pawn advance. Knight gets back to here. Even you put the queen to here, offer exchange, queen can still take the knight, still in very good position. And in the actual game, knight placed himself to d6, rook with no hesitation take it on, and queen has nowhere to go but only on the c7 square. g3. This is a very accurate move. Why? What about if we move the rook to d1? We can try. Rook can get to c8. Now we move to g3. But remember, this open file, the black rook can take that one. Can you of course cannot retreat that one. Rook back. So queen has to move one square back. I will tell you why. Check. You can't take that one. Otherwise, I'll take that one and I'll take that one because you have two offenders for the pawn. You only have one defenders. So you have to wait for the black rook to take you and do the trade-off back. So I would say this is okay, still okay for the white side, but it's not the best position to play. And in the actual game, Tigran Petrosian played very accurately g3. In response, Viktor Korchnoi played as h6. And what about if we play rook to e8? I'll do the check, exchange. Can you discover there's going to be one dangerous discovered attack? That's correct. Rook e6. What are you going to do? If you take the queen here, checkmate. If you take the rook by pawn or by rook, whatever, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose the queen. So queen has to retreat to 8th rank and check. Take that one. Pawn advance. Remember, always try to push your pawn as far as you can. And what you can do? Queen moves to here. No issue. You can't prevent white from queening. So what about if you move the queen to here? I go to here. Still the same situation. White is in absolute winning position. And in the actual game, after g3, h6 is played. Queen gets to e5 and rook is on c8. Queen is prepared for the kingside attack with the support for the rook. And now you can see this structure. Very, very uncomfortable for Viktor Korchnoi. One minor piece on the 6th rank pretty much block two heavy pieces, queen and rook. That's why I say this is a huge monster for the black side. Alright, queen now moves to d5. You can see this pawn directly supported by the rook. Rook is also on offensive and indirectly supported by the queen. Queen now provides direct support for the pawn and still on offensive at the same time, preparing for this rook to enter into the battlefield on f4 or f5 squares. Okay, after several moves, there is no fundamental change until g5 is played. This is very, very brave move, I have to say, to damage the king pawn structure of the black side. White actually damaged his own structure first. And what are you gonna do if you play as black? Now you can see you have not too bad and still strong pawn structure, right? You can defend these four squares, preventing the rook from enter into the field. And the best move actually computer suggests is g8. And if I take the pawn, rook e5, queen f3, rook can get to c5, rook is to d5 because you have three offenders. So this pawn will be lost. So rook gets to here, exchange, queen gets to here, exchange. Now you can see white is much better off, but black is okay, still okay. And in the actual game, unfortunately, let's get back to the actual game, and g6 is played. Viktor Korchnoi, that's the human nature. Viktor Korchnoi wants to build strong pawn chain. This is like every human will think that way. This is no issue. But the problem is actually open the way for the rook to enter into the king side. Very, very dangerous move. Rook is to d5, prepare for the attack on the f7 square. Rook is to f8. Now, Tigran Petrosian played a very accurate move. Can you spell that one? Okay, rook f6. So if you don't move the queen away, the next move will be disaster. This rook will block the queen permanently, and you go. So you have to move the queen to here, and rook can follow by this one. Very, very strong position. And what about if Tigran Petrosian placed his rook on here? Let's see, this pawn immediately becomes undefended. Take that one, rook is back. Now, both sides are very likely to end up as a draw position. So let's get back to here. Rook beautifully played as f6. Queen has to get to here, rook is to here. You can see this minor piece now changed, right? But it's block this heavy piece. And this minor piece support this heavy piece, which is on offensive now. And this pawn supported by the rook and the queen also on this offensive side as well. Queen gets to here. You can argue this is a mistake, but what you can do? If you move the queen to here, take that one, threatening for the checkmate, check, take that one, exchange. So white is still winning. And queen move to e8, which is actual game played, and rook take the pawn. What you can do? If you take that one, check, check, checkmate. And in the next move, queen played is black played as queen e5, and the last move for the game is queen h5, checkmate. Now let's quickly review this game. There are three key moments in this game. First is Tigran Petrosian beautifully placed his rook on e1 and d1 squares on the 13th and 14th move, targeting these two files. The next critical moment is d6. Remember, this pawn actually never changed his position, stationed in the c6 square, but puts huge pressure on black side, even pretty much block the rook and the queen. And the third key moment is Viktor Korchnoi made a very dangerous mistake. He put his pawn from g7 to g6, which effectively allowed the white rook to enter into the battlefield f6 square. Well, that's a very, very sophisticated game played by Tigran Petrosian, the world champion. That's a game for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.